How's it going, Laser Bruises up? I'll be Sixkilla. Welcome back to Quantum Suicide. Now, we had a couple of days off because the developers were having some issues with the voice acting and such, and from what I understand, most of that is fixed. The game is still undergoing fixes, but there are no fixes going on right now that will affect our playthrough right now. So we're going to get back into it. We have to pick a location, a person to go and see. I kind of want to go see the kid, Melody, because I prefer her, but at the same time, oh shit, where's my... I wrote down all the things and I don't know if I still have them. Oh no, I think I lost them. Anyway, I wrote down all those clues we had and now I don't think I have them anymore. So I might have to go find those. But we don't have hers, we do have Melody's already. But we're gonna go see Melody anyway. Let's go see what Melody's up to. I'm sure she could use some company. Especially after losing her mum like that. I need to go find those though. Let's see, according to my tablet, Melody's in her family's shared room. As I made my way towards Melody's quarters, I ran into I in the hallway. Something struck me as odd about the way she was standing there by herself, fidgeting expectantly. I, what are you doing?
Oh, hello. Melody and I are playing hide and seek.
Oh, nice. Are you counting?
Oh no, I can't be the one to count. It would not be fair.
Why not?
Because I am aware of everyone's position on the ship at all times. I could simply materialize beside her as soon as I reached 0.
That does sound like cheating.
I have no desire to cheat, so when we play this game, I must always be the one who hides.
But you could just teleport away when she gets close, and you'd know when she was getting close. I hate to point out problems with your hide and seek strategy, but you're kind of just standing in the hallway. It isn't really hiding.
This is how we play. Melody is incoming.
With those words, the image of I disappeared before my eyes and was replaced with the image of the captain. What the heck?
Please do not give away my hiding place.
That's cheating. Melody entered the hallway and approached us.
Hello, monkey.
Hello, Melody. Nervous and confused by I's sudden transformation, I must have been acting quite suspiciously.
Hello, Captain.
Shouldn't you be studying, Melody?
Yes, Captain.
Melody lowered her head before giving us both inquisitive looks.
Monkey, what has 4 legs but can't walk?
A table? Or a chair. I'll go with the table.
A table?
Yeah.
I found you!
Melody launched toward me and made contact with my legs. Not releasing her grip, she looked up at me with a genuine look of confusion.
Wait, I?
Sorry, but I'm not I.
It would appear that I have won this round, Melody.
The image of Kamiko quickly faded and was replaced by an extremely happy I.
Aww, I was so close!
Yes, you were.
Can we play again?
I am afraid not. I need to see to some business on the bridge. Why don't you go draw something? I give you my word. I will return as soon as I am finished.
Can Monkey come and draw with me?
That is up to...
For sure. Melody looked at me with some of the largest puppy dog eyes I'd ever seen. There was no way I could resist that face.
Please, come draw with me.
Of course, but I must warn you, I'm terrible at it.
Don't worry.
It's true.
I can teach you.
I really am.
Very well. I shall return shortly.
And I cannot learn. With a polite bow, I's form dissolved, leaving Melody and I behind in the hallway. Melody grabbed my hand and started leading me to her quarters.
I want to draw my imaginary friends.
Are they dinosaurs? You can draw whatever you like. Barely able to contain her excitement, Melody took off at a run. It wasn't long before we made it to her quarters. Melody directed me to sit on the floor, at the coffee table, and brought out some paper and pencils to draw with. It only took a few minutes to start drawing.
See? One of them is a bear, and the other is a bunny.
So neither of them are dinosaurs. That's interesting. Why are they different animals? Melody just shrugged.
They sometimes fight, but I know they love each other. They are family after all. See? What are you drawing?
It reminded me very much of Monokuma, as it meant to. We have to draw a person. I guess.
Show me! Show me!
I showed him my drawing. Wow, that's better than I could do still. What?
Monkey and I, sitting in a tree.
That's real mature, Melody. Can't sit... She is non-corporeal.
I'm sorry. Are you mad?
Little. No, of course not. Just as I finished that sentence, I appeared.
I have completed my duties aboard the bridge.
Welcome back, I.
Melody showed her picture expectantly to I.
That is very creative, Melody.
Can you draw us a picture,
I don't believe I have that capability.
Please? Just draw a picture of yourself. You know what you look like, right?
Very well. Please be patient while
That's a
I
weird
compile
question.
some images.
Although I flickered and disappeared, I could still hear her speaking.
Loading image database. Initiating randomization generator. Applying filters.
Just then, an image appeared where I had been sitting moments earlier.
That's so much better than mine.
I requested an image comprised of myself and a friend. This is what the algorithm came up with.
Who's that?
I made one too, Mommy!
Melody screamed. There's a mixture of scream and squeal. Screamed as she heard Dai's deranged voice fill the room. It didn't help matters that the image was quite unsettling. Dai appeared where the image just was.
What? Am I not allowed to play? That's just rude.
Melody quickly moved behind me in order to shield herself from Dai. Dai, what do you want?
Just checking to see how my favorite contestant is progressing in this round of the Deletion Game.
I'm your favorite?
Don't get too sappy on me. Statistically, you've been isolated, which has led to you as having the highest probability of winning every round of the Deletion Game.
Nice.
So, I know where I'm putting my money.
I don't want everyone else to die though. Dai was looking curiously at Melody, currently huddled behind me before jumping forwards to scare Melody.
Boo!
Melody screamed and ran out of her quarters crying. Was that really necessary?
I'm not called the destructive artificial intelligence for nothing, you know.
Your name is actually an acronym?
Yep, but I prefer Die. It seems appropriate, doesn't it?
Yes.
Die.
You know, I got that early on. It's quite on the nose, you know. Doesn't take a genius to figure it out. She heaved a satisfied sigh.
There's nothing I enjoy more than a good play on words.
What about a bad play on words? You call yourself Die?
Heavens, no. I'm not that vain. Shizuka coined the term when I was first activated. They were trying to think of a way to differentiate me from I. To hear them tell it, they felt it was unfair for I to be associated with my antisocial behavior.
That makes sense, yeah.
What a bunch of bores. If I had a choice, I'd call myself Alice.
Really? That's so, well, normal. Why Alice?
I don't know. I just feel like an Alice.
You don't really feel now, do you?
I'll have you know that I do have a synthetic emotional response program. Sure, I disengage it, but that's not the point.
Dai simulated looking at a wristwatch.
Oh, would you look at the time? Well, my hair isn't going to wash itself. Toodles!
Why do you wash your hair so much considering it's not real? Just as quickly as Dai appeared, she shifted back to I.
My apologies.
It's not your fault, I.
I should check on Melody and notify her father of the mishap. Please excuse me.
I bowed and left me alone in Melody and Vladimir's quarters. Well, I guess I should return to my own quarters. I left the quarters and headed back to my own. Still curious about the mysterious pocket watch, I sat on the bed and pulled the pocket watch out of my front right pants pocket to look at it. There just had to be a reason why this was with my parents' research. I lay back in my bed, frustrated. If only my parents were still around. I'm sure they would have known what to do with this. When I woke up on Friday, for a moment I forgot where I was. The ceiling was still foreign to me and I was too groggy from sleep for my surroundings to truly sink in. The Deletion Game was some horrible nightmare, right? I'd get up and see my parents sitting in the common room, and my father would offer a choice comment about how lazy I was. This wasn't going to happen, though. After a few minutes, I began to come to my senses. Alright, time to get out of bed. I got work to do. I dragged my feet out of the warmth of the blankets and placed them firmly on the floor next to my bed. Body, up. Go. Activate. Engage. I sighed and begrudgingly got up. It seemed my brain still wasn't functioning at full capacity just yet. I made my way out of my quarters and headed towards the bridge. On my way there, I ran into Shizuka in the hallway.
Good morning.
Morning. Oh, good morning, Shizuka.
What happened to you? Did you die in your sleep?
That's what every night's like here, apparently.
What happened to you? Did you die in your sleep? What happened to you?
Okay, stop. I'm just not awake yet, that's all.
Where are you going?
I'm off to the bridge. Gonna see how the captain's doing this morning.
I'm also on my way there. She had I come summon me. More work. I'm also on my way there. She had I come summon me.
It's way too early for
More
work. As Shizuka finished voicing her displeasure, we finally reached the bridge. Sorry, so there are still some voice glitches there. At the center stood the captain, waiting expectantly for Shizuka's arrival.
Shizuka? Excellent. I have concerns regarding our navigation.
Good morning, Captain.
Oh, hello. I've heard that you've been assisting the crew with their tasks over the last few days.
I've been trying to help out where I can.
It's great to see our newest crew member showing initiative. Keep up the good work.
Captain, your voice is...
My voice? Yes, sorry, I completely forgot. This happened before you were conscious. Just after we picked you up, there was an accident while I was helping Katashi with some chores. I was harvesting tomato plants when I was stung by a bee in the throat.
What the crap?
The Vogel's father said the swelling and its effects on my voice could take a few weeks before returning to normal.
This is what your voice normally sounds like? The captain smiled warmly.
It's nice to finally be back to normal.
Oh, Captain, I really like your regular voice. The captain stood firm, but I could see her forced to hide a smile. Wait, bees?
Yes, you heard me right. Space bees.
Space bees! Nice. Space butterflies? Space butterfly, space butterfly. The captain's smile faded as his stern demeanor returned.
Moving on to the subject at hand. The Everett is currently approaching a recently imploded superstar, which has formed into a black hole. Is this going to be a problem?
Let me just double check for you, Captain.
Shizuka sat down at the navigation terminal for quite some time.
How are you traveling since your headaches?
I'm doing a lot better now.
That's good to hear. I've also heard that you started looking into your parents' research. Is that going well?
Well's a strong word. It's definitely something. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what my parents were attempting to do.
Captain,
Report, Shizuka.
the black hole in question has an event horizon that's only a few kilometers wide, so it shouldn't pose much of a problem. That being said, our current trajectory will send us close to it. Close enough that we may experience its gravitational field.
Will being that close result in any further casualties?
If we can avoid entering the event horizon itself, there shouldn't be any casualties. As of right now, however, we still have the opportunity to change our trajectory and avoid the situation altogether.
Do that then.
If we were to change our route, how much time would be added to the estimated mission duration?
Let's see. According to I's projections, roughly 71 years.
That won't do. We'll have to take our chances with the black hole's gravitational field. Will you be able to navigate through it?
I've never done it before, although I have successfully navigated through them in training simulations.
Well, let's hope that your gaming skills come in handy. We can't afford to add extra time to the mission with our current resource crisis.
I'm sure she can do it. She's an elite gamer. Wait, we're going to stay on course toward a black hole?
Well, yes, but we're just going to go next to it, not into it, silly.
Isn't that still incredibly dangerous?
If we don't take this calculated risk now, there's no way we'll survive to see the end of this mission.
I guess.
If you were a betting person, would you rather have a 100% chance of death or a 50% chance?
Yeah, but 100% chance of death is much further away, right? Well, 50% of course.
Excellent choice. Shizuka, set our course. When will we be getting close enough to experience any gravitational anomalies?
Roughly a week, give or take a few days.
Wonderful. Keep me posted.
Can do, Captain.
Her conversation with Shizuka concluded. The captain turned to address me.
What are your plans for the day?
I have no idea. Who's Yoshiki? I've forgotten. It's been a couple of days, I can't remember. Is that the guy? Is that the guy from the thing? Let's hang out with her, because I know who she is. I was thinking I'd spend some time with you and see if you need any help with anything.
Really?
Well, if I don't get in your way.
You won't be any trouble at all. Very well, Shizuka. I'll leave you to it. I'll be in the laundry should you require my assistance.
Roger that.
The captain shifted her attention back to me.
We have a day of washing ahead of us. Let's begin.
The captain stepped down from the bridge and followed the hallway until she reached a door that I'd yet to enter.
Welcome to the laundry. After my quarters in the bridge, this is the place where you're most likely to find me.
Wow, you sound like a very interesting person. When I'm not captaining a spaceship, I'm doing the washing. I'm putting a wash on. So you do the laundry?
Yes.
Why? You're the captain.
Being captain doesn't absolve me from doing everyday chores. Everyone needs to pull their own weight aboard the ship, regardless of their rank.
I understand.
Are you familiar with how to clean clothes?
Yeah, you beat them with a rock in the river, right? Believe it or not, it's actually one of my fortes. Kimiko's eyes widen in surprise.
Really? I never would have guessed.
Well, my parents taught me from a young age how to do most basic chores. They knew that I'd needed to be able to take care of myself while they were busy with their research. Eventually, their obsessive approach to their work forced me to step up and become their unofficial personal assistant. It was a good thing too, because it wasn't uncommon for them to forget about their responsibilities for weeks at a time, if not completely.
So you can cook as well?
Basic stuff, yeah, but not the kind of stuff Katashi can do.
Don't sell yourself short. A skill is still a skill.
The captain deposited a pile of clean clothes in front of the two of us and began folding. Not folding? Oh, it's the worst. I couldn't help but notice how content she looked as she went about folding the clothes. It was remarkable how performing simple tasks could have such a therapeutic effect. I assisted the captain with the folding. I tried to think of possible topics of conversation. You've been on the ship your whole life. Is there someone you trust more than anyone else?
An interesting question. Why do you ask?
Well, it's just that every round of the Deletion Game requires a lot of teamwork. I still don't really know who I can trust. As the newest crew member, I can't help but feel like I'm at a disadvantage.
I see. I guess it's only fair that I share who I trust with you. The person I trust most is Yoshiki. Growing up together, we were pretty close, and he's been like a little brother to me. I scold him all the time, but that's only because I expect more from him. Katashi and Shizuka are wild horses. I'm never 100% sure what they're up to, although I do generally think that they're kind people.
I got that impression too.
Beatrix would not hesitate to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, I figured
Nicholas,
that.
on the other hand...
Yeah, I wondered about him. He doesn't seem as bad as his sister. Can I trust Nicholas?
I'm not certain. While I admire Nicholas's loyalty to his sister, in my experience, it often leads him to be less than trustworthy. However, I don't believe he would lash out at others like Beatrix does. As long as you have his sister's best interests at heart, you should be able to rely on him. As for Vladimir and Melody, I trust them with my life.
Figured that too. Do you trust me? Kimiko smiled at me.
Jumping the gun a little, are we? We've only known each other for about 2 weeks.
Not even that long, just over a week. I guess you're right.
Who do you currently trust most?
Melody. Vladimir and Melody aren't even on the freaking list. Out of these people? Her. You.
Really? I'm flattered, thank you.
Would have been Vladimir, though, if he'd been on the list.
While we're spending time together, would you be interested in sharing your clue with me?
Sure. Although I've lost all my other ones. I'd love to share. To be honest, I'm starting to feel pretty nervous about Saturday's game. If Di were to put me on the spot right now, I'd probably just as likely shoot myself.
That would be an embarrassing way to die.
Dumb ways to die.
My
No
clue
kidding.
says that Yoshiki is directly between myself and Katashi. Thank you for sharing.
It was my pleasure. I just wish I had more.
How about I share a little more with you?
You have more?
Yes. And I'd be willing to share what I've uncovered with you. After all, you are still at a bit of a disadvantage.
That'd be amazing, thank you.
Shizuka is to the right of Yoshiki.
I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
It's only fair. But please, keep it to yourself. Certain crew members might not look too kindly on me sharing their information with you. It's true what they say. Many hands make light work.
I looked down and realized that we'd finished all the folding while we were talking.
Thank you for both the chat and the help.
You're welcome. Just glad I've been able to be some use to everyone.
It's about time that we both turn in for the evening. Shall I walk you to your quarters?
Still monitoring my movements, Captain?
Always.
A playful smirk crept across Kimiko's features. The captain walked me out of the doors to my quarters.
I believe this is you. If you ever need anything, I'm always available.
Thank you. Good night, Captain.
Good night.
I entered my quarters under the captain's watchful gaze. After crawling into bed, I found myself lying awake for a few hours. It seemed like every passing day brought with it more and more questions that needed answering. Much to my relief, I eventually managed to shove aside these restless thoughts and slipped into a deep sleep. I woke up with what felt like an information hangover. It seemed my headache from earlier in the week was starting to return as the Deletion Game edged closer. I didn't have the time to waste. I only had one more day to acquire the clues I needed to help me survive this round. Who should I check in with today? Okay. I or Shizuka? Let's go with Shizuka. I haven't seen Shizuka in a while, except yesterday. I should go see what she's up to. I looked at my tablet and saw she was in the rec room. Rec room, huh? I headed to the rec room, where I found Shizuka slumped in front of the TV. Hey, Shizuka. Shizuka didn't even turn to look at me. The only perceptible sign that she'd heard me were a slight tilt of her head and a vague monosyllabic reply.
Huh? Yeah, hi.
I sat down next to Shizuka and had a good look at what she was playing. Oh, she's playing games. Nice. What is this? Pony Island?
It's Unicorn's Revenge.
Pretty close. What is Unicorn's Revenge? Shizuka took quite some time to reply. She was clearly focused on the action unfolding on screen. From what I could decipher, Shizuka was controlling a unicorn as it hopped over a series of obstacles. That's definitely Pony Island.
It's a unicorn, rainbows. What?
The unicorn appeared to have died upon making contact with a brightly coloured fat man. Shizuka dropped her head back and let her entire body go limp. Did you die? Shizuka rolled her head and looked at me lifelessly.
What does it look like?
You died.
Yup. And after hours of work too.
I'm sorry. Shizuka took a deep breath and released it in a heavy sigh.
I can just start again.
It's a roguelike, is it? So what is Unicorn's Revenge anyway?
OMG! You seriously don't know?
Shizuka's defeatist attitude was suddenly swept aside and replaced with pure enthusiasm.
Unicorn's Revenge is only one of the best games ever created.
That good, huh?
Yes, that good. Unicorn's Revenge is super retro. The game was created in like 2020 or something old like that by a game developer called Teofilo. It's an endless runner with light RPG elements including skill trees and unlockable gear. The programming I managed to get my hands on wasn't even compatible with my system. After all, it was super old. But I was finally able to get it to run after fiddling with the source code.
You know how to program?
Of course I can. I'm the Everett's linguistics officer.
I thought you'd be responsible for deciphering alien languages or something.
Oh, yes. Growing up, I received language education and studied linguistics in English and Japanese. Programming languages are surprisingly similar, however. In fact, I'd argue they're even easier, since programming languages are basically just a mix between language and math.
How does that sound easier?
Programming is easier to understand than people, as I always say.
Why would it be easier? Shizuka considered this a moment before responding.
Well, when you're programming, you can read lines of a program's code and see at a glance why it's behaving the way it is. People, on the other hand, aren't so easy to read.
Sure. Shizuka's candid remarks spoke volumes about how she viewed her interactions with the other crew members. In spite of her bubbly and upbeat personality, it seemed she struggled as much as anyone else when it came to understanding people. Their thoughts, their motives, their feelings. Unlike her logical, well-ordered programming languages, the human one was messy and complex, defying easy answers. In an attempt to lighten the mood, I returned to the subject at hand. So does Unicorn's Revenge run well on your system?
It does okay. Sometimes it runs into the odd glitch for whatever reason, but hey, what can you do?
What can you do? Shizuka shrugged indifferently. So is it safe to say this is your favorite game?
Absolutely! Everything about it is magical. Unicorns, cupcakes, sparkles, glitter, you name it. Even the main boss, General Rainbow, is amazing in his own way.
Sounds unremittingly twee. Wait, why is that why you have a unicorn backpack?
Yeah.
Did you make it?
No!
Then how'd you get one?
The captain made it for my birthday a few years ago.
The captain gets Sar?
Yeah. She does most of the repairs on our clothes and stuff.
I mean, she can knit, so
But
why
enough
not?
about that. Do you want to give Unicorn's Revenge a try?
Hell yeah. Sure.
Here you go.
Shizuka handed me the controller.
Okay, just press the start button whenever you want to start the game.
Okay, I think I got this. It doesn't look too hard. As the game began, the screen displayed my unicorn avatar moving across the screen. Suddenly, an enemy appeared from the right-hand side and began making its way toward me. A. Instinctively pressed the A button as the evil-looking star approached. The unicorn jumped in response to my button press. Although I'd been expecting to unleash some sort of attack, things seemed to have worked out in my favor.
Yeah, jump the stars. Just remember, if you touch any enemy once, it's game over.
Okay, sweet. I think I got this. It's like Alex Kidd in Miracle World. I continued jumping over an assortment of evil stars, which were approaching at different speeds and in varying quantities, until a new enemy type appeared on screen.
But you can't jump the cup.
Before she could finish what she was saying, I attempted to jump the next enemy, a cupcake, only to have it jump at the exact same time. I ran straight into the cupcake and died instantly. It was game over.
I guess you did better than I was expecting. I didn't expect you to get as far as cupcake spawns.
Thank you. I am elite gamer after all, so I did okay.
Aside from me, the only people who've managed to get that far are you, Melody, and I. Then again, I shouldn't really count. I don't think Yoshiki's ever gotten past, like, 4 stars.
As Shizuka's laughter filled the rec room, I materialized nearby.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, hey, I. What's up?
The captain has requested your presence on the bridge.
Okay. Tell the captain I just need to finish up here and I'll be right over.
Very well.
What's going down? I bowed and disappeared just as suddenly as she appeared.
Work. Hey, before I head over, want to share info for the Deletion Game?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Awesome! Let's see if you can do better in this game than you did in Unicorn's Revenge.
Wouldn't bank on it. I let out a nervous laugh, remembering my game over screen from moments earlier.
So my clue says that Beatrix is 5 positions to the left of Yoshiki.
Okay. Mine says that Melody is to the right of Beatrix and to the left of Katashi.
That's a great bit of info. Awesome. I think I've almost got this figured out.
I don't. I lost most of my clues still. Although Shizuka's life was clearly on the line, it appeared she was still getting some enjoyment out of playing the game. Noticing the time, Shizuka began moving toward the door.
Sorry, gotta run. If I don't get going, I'll never hear the end of it from the captain. See you around. Oh, one last thing before I go.
She keeps repeating her lines. Shizuka quickly unplugged her game console and handed it to me.
You can borrow this. Be sure to practice so that we can play 2-player together, okay?
Shizuka looked up at me with an expression of pure joy.
Okay, bye-bye for real this time.
I like her. She's a gamer. With those parting words and an energetic wave, she disappeared through the rec room door, and at that point, I opted to retire to my quarters for the day. If I hurried back, maybe I could even get a few rounds of Unicorn's Revenge before I hit the hay. The third round of the Deletion Game came to a close tomorrow. I sincerely hoped that my preparations over the course of the week were sufficient to ensure my survival. I would have been so happy if this day had never arrived, but I knew it was just wishful thinking on my part. I awoke with the start of Dai's announcement as it piped over the ship's intercom.
Good morning, competitors! What a wonderful morning! It's already shaping up to be a great day, don't you think? This is just a friendly reminder that in a mere 8 hours, the next round of the Deletion Game will begin. I hope you all have your clues ready.
And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here, and I'm going to go and see if I can find the clues that I wrote down and figure out enough to get through this. So yeah, until then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and in the next one, another round of the Deletion Game, I guess.